Righto, welcome back to the Four-Wheel Drive podcast, driven by Shelter. Today, the ultimate four-wheel drive setup. And Ronnie, speaking of setups, is set up today. You got your headphone in last week, got off to a bit of a false start. You didn't understand why Jade and I were starting to talk to each other.
No.
You missed the jump, but happy to have you on board early today, mate.
Mate, I'm here. I'm back, and I've got an old school shirt on.
I did notice that, actually. That's we covered the 79 setups a couple of weeks back.
Oh, yeah.
What is that number?
That's setup number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah. I actually grabbed this by mistake. I was trying to go for that one. yeah. This is a black shirt.
Now, you're a bit of a gym junkie yourself. Have you noticed it?
This shirt is smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's good results.
Clarify. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he likes it. Likes a small shirt.
He didn't go back and change it. I noticed that.
It's good to Tums underneath the table here, so that's all I'm saying.
That's you and I both. Music by the Southern River Band, Let It Ride, the Four Drive podcast on Instagram, all the episodes over at BackChat's YouTube. And again, our patrons, thank you for your support.
Thank you. Number check.
Far out. Another one where I'm not ready.
It's all right. We didn't ask you last week.
We're on 38.
Okay,
still.
we're steady.
So it's a steady
that's
number.
All right. It's a plateau. That's fine. 38 quality members.
It's a steady train.
So we're actually going to be doing a giveaway again, boys.
Beautiful.
For our expert tier. For people who don't know, expert tier, you get a giveaway every now and again.
Yep.
We'll do a little giveaway. You get a bit of merch. Maybe you get your membership free for a month. Maybe Doug will give you a footy.
Maybe. I could.
You could.
Pair of boots, maybe.
Yeah, pair of boots.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get a boots from Duggo.
So if you want to get involved, patreon.com/the Four Drive podcast. Find us there.
Get on it.
That's great.
Pair of boots may not come. I don't know. It depends how we go.
No,
if I kick shite in them,
yeah,
I'll offload them.
they're going.
Let's jump straight into it today, boys, because we've been going well over time recently. And true to the Four Drive podcast form, we were meant to start this podcast approximately 48 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's been that long.
And
that one's on me, boys.
No, well, it's a bit of all of us. When
Well,
I rocked up, though, you were playing FIFA, so...
Yeah. I had to win. I had to win and I didn't win.
And who did win?
Yeah, no one. It was a draw.
No winner.
Yep.
I was 5 minutes late.
Well, we couldn't... We went
It's all
to...
right, mate. We weren't waiting on you.
Doesn't matter. It's...
And we couldn't find your headphones, speaking of. Luckily, you did get them in, but we couldn't find them.
Well, that's probably how I've got them in my head today.
Yeah,
right?
it was
Yeah.
So which team do you guys pick in FIFA?
No, it wasn't me
Nah, it
versus
wasn't me.
Duggo. It was a BackChat Studios little thing.
Yeah, what team?
You were Portugal.
Random to Portugal. And
You randomed it?
Nick
Oh.
Nick picked Italy.
Yeah, right.
So it's Portugal v Italy, FIFA 2020.
2020.
Yeah, so this is Scully's one.
2020. Is that when
Scully's old PlayStation.
Italy were doing a dive? And
I don't follow soccer.
hang on, they do a dive every time.
Sorry.
Ooh. Ronnie's got some inside soccer
Yeah,
gossip that I don't get.
you're a soccer guy.
I'm still annoyed at the Australia-Italy game. That was poor form Italy.
Who do you follow in the soccer? Country-wise?
Denmark?
Yeah, look, I'll
Bit
watch
of both.
Denmark. I'll watch Australia. I do like Brazil because they usually kick ass. So they're a pretty good game to
They're
watch.
just fun to watch.
They
I
are.
think a really good game to watch would be like Brazil and Germany or something. That'd be...
There's soccer coming up at
strong
the
teams.
Olympics, isn't it?
Euros are happening right now.
Oh, Euros. Is soccer in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yes.
geez,
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a bit going on in the soccer world. I do not
Yeah.
understand the soccer
Euros
world.
are happening at the moment.
What's Euros?
It's like the European...
Oh, yeah, it's
Cup
like the
League.
European League.
So like all the European teams, like international teams will play each other.
Oh, okay, gotcha. For their country.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think.
Yeah, it is. It's just the European countries.
Yeah, okay. That's why it's called Euros.
Yeah.
Pretty
Right.
easy to figure out, Doug.
Let's get
Hence
back
why Australia's not in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, not because we're bad.
Hey,
Well,
I need that.
well.
Don't need that. All right, on the radar, let's get to it. Let's get back to some four-wheel drive camp and sort of style stuff. Thank you for that update, though. We're looking at lights, camp lights.
Yes.
And more specifically, we've got some science backed up by the voice beyond.
Yeah, I'll be interested to hear
Who's read someone's thesis from England and on camp lights.
I did.
But
Had to get into it.
well, yeah,
Into
you can probably kick us off here because what are we looking at? We're looking at the bright white light versus
the compact fluorescent light.
okay.
That's the study. So fluorescent, tungsten, LED, warm LED, and a cool LED.
Right.
That was the study. So in 2014 in South England, there was a study that was done to compare the attractiveness of traditional lights, which are your tungsten filaments and your compact fluorescent. Your tungsten filaments and modern domestic lights. So they're mainly comparing outdoor lights, so camping lights and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So your modern lights are your compact fluorescent and your LED lights, and they basically tested to see how attractive those lights were going to be to insects. So there were 18 different sites that they used, and they tested them across 3 different time periods: morning, evening, and night.
Okay.
They used 4 different lights. I've already been over those. And the results were actually I think pretty non-interesting. I think it would be exactly as you'd expect the results to be. The old school lights, the old school tungsten filament lights attracted the most amount of bugs. The compact fluorescent lights attracted the second most amount of bugs, and the LEDs pretty much attracted a really low average of bugs.
Yeah, so the results aren't surprising, but the reasons why
the reasons
are
why,
the interesting part, I find.
Yeah, so the study found that basically insect vision is either di or trichromatic, which means that they're really sensitive to UV.
Right.
UV radiation, which is why they're attracted to these lights, because the compact fluorescent and the tungsten filament lights have a lot of UV in them.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
you could actually get a tan from them.
Well, you could try. You'd be there for a while, mate. But the LEDs,
a thin line across your forehead from your camp light that you're standing right under.
Well, I mean, exactly right. So they also found that short wavelengths of light attract bugs more than longer wavelengths of light, and
Right.
LEDs have really long wavelengths.
Okay.
But does it come down to the colour as well? Because a red sort of light, like that's like at the longest wavelength on the spectrum.
I don't know if there's much difference between the red and the white. Like when you actually compare
bug.
to a bug
Okay.
on the spectrum, they didn't find that there was a huge difference.
Yeah.
Red light, I think, would be the peak, the best of the best you can get, but just below it, like maybe minimal gap below it is the white LED.
Okay.
So they found that the color didn't really have that much impact on it. So, but there was also a study in New Zealand that found that the color also had no impact, but in Germany, the warm lights attracted less bugs than the cool lights.
Interesting. So I wonder if it's down to the type of bug. But did they try with red light though? Did they say that?
They haven't got a specific red light. It's just cool and warm.
Okay, so we're talking Kelvin of 5 or maybe 6,000 Kelvin down to 3,000 Kelvin. So that's still
You'd probably think around that, which isn't specifically a red light, but that's why I say red light is above it, but not a huge amount. Like when you're comparing them, you look on a graph, they're not.
Yep. So
there's not a huge difference. You get an LED light, you're going to attract less bugs than if you have a compact fluorescent light.
Yeah. Okay. So for our listeners, they've pretty much they've checked the range between what you could buy for a household light, more or less, because a warmer light, that's like your 400 to 300 Kelvin, and what mimics daylight is 5,600 Kelvin.
All right.
So that's what you generally set your camera to if you're filming outside, unless you're using auto, of course. So just to clarify that bit. Interesting. So
You're a big fan of your red light.
I am.
You make that very aware.
Well, you got to make money somehow out there.
Turn the red lights on, open for business, you reckon?
The red light district. He's out. Wow.
What would his name be out there, you reckon? Under
Ronnie's name?
Under the
Rhonda Darling.
Rhonda Darling.
Ronnie Rude.
Ronnie Rude.
Ronnie Rude.
Anyway, have you got some lights for us?
I do.
Oh, look at that.
Should I put them on red or not? There you go, mate. You have a longer one.
Thanks, mate. Wouldn't mind a bit more length.
So
True.
back on track here. All right, I started it, so yeah, okay. These are LED camp lights and
Rowdy Ronnie.
Rowdy Ronnie.
Get out of it.
And they have 2 functions. Well, actually, they have 3 functions. You've got white light and you've got red light. They can also dim. So if you hold it down, it'll dim. Now, particularly with these lights, they are epic for camp because if you just roll in, you want to set up your swag and everything. You've just been staring at that bright light outside your window trying to find camp.
Yep.
Now you're at camp. If you dim all your lights, you're going to struggle to see because your eyes take 15 minutes to adjust. So you whack these on, bright, get all your stuff down, kind of start setting up camp, and then you can then dim them or you can go to red. So when you go to red, they will be bright to start with, but you can also dim that. And you'll find that at night, just having that little bit of red light behind you and you'll be able to see the stars. The fire, it generally doesn't take your vision out unless someone throws a whole tree on it.
Yeah.
You'll find that's a really dim red light. You can see enough around. Now, I don't recommend cooking with red light because you can't see what you're cooking because you lose all the colours of the food.
Yeah, right.
All you really see is black and red. Yeah. So instead of black and white, you see black and red.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's why I love these lights so much. And just that dimming function is really cool, and especially for photography at night.
These are PDP's own light that they've...
Yep. These are PDP's own light. And what I do like about these, you'll find that with most LED lights that don't take much current, their wiring is really thin. And they're very, very hard to sort of solder and hook up yourself. But these are decent thickness.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure like the mil on them, but normally you get this really thin wire and when you use like your normal wire strippers, the cheap ones that we all use from Bunnings, they just completely rip everything. But on these are much easier to hook up. Yeah,
right.
So you find that with it's like all your USB little things and all that. They are these tiny little micro wires, and you really got to know what you're doing if you're going to try and solder them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
PDP, so 200 series and 70 series, these are like, this fits perfectly on your bigger door?
Well, funnily enough, this one is about a foot long, so 300 mil, that's 600 mil, 2 feet. That fits on the big door, the barn doors on a 76, or the Troopy. That one fits really well on the big door. This one fits really well on the small door. It's like they were made for it. They weren't made for it, but it's like they were made for it.
Maybe they were.
Maybe they were. I think he's even got a longer one now, like a 900 mil or...
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a little bit of a background
on lights.
Camp lights. And so these have a white light and the red light.
Yeah, so you can see...
Do they have the disco function?
Disco? No, I don't have disco. Well, it depends how you wire them up. If you got a dodgy wire and you got the bass turned right up, it might like...
I'm looking for a light out there with the disco function.
Disco function? Maybe like your LED, your RGB LEDs, you want that then?
I'm going to ask Travis to...
You going on a few bush stuffs, are you, mate?
Well, it might start. It might start
going out there.
You never know.
Oh.
Bush doof, I'm always open for a party.
Yeah, there's been a few out there, eh?
There's always a few doofs going around.
I was going through my photos of the trip back from Adelaide and the Troopy lights when Rafa and Ronnie's Troopies were lit up underneath. That was cool.
That was cool. What are those lights?
Those I got from Custom Installations in Wangara. Those are red, blue, green, RGB, and you get like an app with it, and you can like control the color. You can make it go to music. You can make it fade, jump, flash, whatever you want.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And they draw bugger all power.
Yeah, right.
Often I used to forget to that were on, so I'd just stay on the whole time. And then until it gets dark the next day and I'm driving, it's like, oh, I've still got bloody rainbow lights on.
Sorry, Ronnie, I'm just changing the lights behind you to a more appropriate colour. Red.
Oh, there we go.
Good, no bugs now.
There we go. Oh, look at that. He's got
bugs.
The party lights going. There you go.
I don't think the bugs will be out in this weather. Oh, there. Nice.
There you go. Look at that. Huh?
Where'd you get these?
I don't know.
Okay.
We could be camping exactly like this, and we could have Jaden on the deck over there.
Yeah.
There's your bush doof, and he's controlling the lights.
Jaden, he likes country music and you don't. As we discovered.
Well.
You're not a country fan?
Put some beat to it.
I'm more into country than I was.
Okay.
But not there yet.
All right.
Sorry, mate.
No worries. Let's get on with it. Hey, ultimate four-wheel drive setup. Is there one?
No.
Okay. That's a four-wheel drive.
All right, that's a four-wheel drive podcast. Done.
Jaden thought this was going to be topic of the year.
I did. I really thought this was going to be a good one. But all right. Thanks for listening, guys. Patreon.
Look to
We'll
be.
just play us out there.
No, we've laid in a lot of four-wheel drive setups and what we think is the best. We've spoken about the 79 recently. You've got 18 other cars that we've spoken about. We've had Jaden's thoughts, we've had my thoughts, but we're going to, I suppose this ties in with introducing a new segment, which is going to be the ultimate four-wheel drive setup, that we're going to ask people to send in their ultimate four-wheel drive setup. But as we take a bit of a deep dive into it now, I just want to, I suppose, pose a question to you both, and I'll have a little go at it myself.
Okay.
But what is the closest thing that we can think of to the ultimate four-wheel drive setup? And if you've had close to it, Ronnie, with your 79 or your Troopy or your 76 or the Grenadier, what else have we got? The Courier,
the Hilux as
the
well.
Falcon that you started in.
Yeah, the Prado that's probably definitely, almost definitely going to be coming.
Yeah. And the Ram, and the Ram that we're waiting on.
And the Ram that's coming. You're getting a Silverado.
No,
what other cars have we talked about?
Everything.
All right.
But
you guys are going rogue on me.
Yeah. How do we find it? How do we get the ultimate four-wheel drive setup?
I'm gonna answer it by saying this. How many times have I changed the 79 series? How many times have I changed other vehicles? You know, I've actually given up the pursuit of the ultimate setup because it just, like I actually said it recently, it doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. And look, you might set something up and you're like, yeah, this is wicked. And then you go take it out and it might be really cool, but that's going to wear off really quick. And then all of a sudden there'll be all the stuff you put on it to make it the ultimate setup is now going to have some, little niggly effects on everything else, like the vehicle weight, the empty pockets you're going to end up with. And a lot of people actually get bored of building a car. Once the car's built, they sell it and then they start again.
Yeah.
I know so many people that have done it. I don't know anyone who has built the ultimate four-wheel drive and then just held onto it.
Yeah.
And held onto it for a long time without changing it. Jaden.
Interesting.
you took your rooftop tent off, Yeah. So...
Well, I was more talking about you, mate.
Yeah, look, it's also perception, right? Like, what is the ultimate setup to you may not suit Jaden. Jaden's may not suit yours and vice versa. And, it's a very difficult thing to say what is an ultimate setup. Okay, well, let's take, for instance... the Troopy could be an ultimate setup for what it's built for, but does it make it the ultimate setup? Because you can't use it for, say, other things in a manner you would use a different four-wheel drive in. So I guess it's specific to what it is. So what is the ultimate setup for you? That's probably the question.
Yeah, and like you say, I don't think you will ever find it, and I do agree that over time it continues to change and you change your vehicle and then it affects something else and you want to change that.
Yep.
Then you want a new one. And then you start again and it's impossible to figure it out. And I think we have spoken about this quite a lot on here, that it's definitely specific to your needs and how you use the vehicle, whether you're a weekend or a full-time tour, or all of this comes into play.
Yeah.
One thing though that I thought about constantly today, and I saw a setup on a Ford Ranger that I hadn't seen a Ford Ranger without a full box canopy, like the full, kitchen upright fridge. That like it was still a tub, but it was the most set up four-wheel drive Ford Ranger I'd seen for touring without that setup. It's just on the tub. But one thing that so this is what maybe sort of triggered my thought on this. So they had a rear bar with like spare tyre, which you don't see often on the utes.
They look cool.
Utes. They do look good, yeah. And this thing was dusty too. It had been used. It had like stacks of stuff on their roof racks, and what they did have was a rack on the back of the tub. So the one thing that I thought about for the ultimate tourer, the ultimate four-wheel drive setup, and I'm more thinking touring here because I don't know enough about hardcore four-wheel driving.
That kind of fits anyway. Like the ultimate tourer is.
Yeah, it could be your ultimate four-wheel drive, but it mightn't be for like your people that want to go rock crawling.
Yeah,
it's going to be a very different setup. But this thing, you have to make the most of one, your roof, I reckon, and two, they had a tub rack as well, so you can't fit very much, you can't fit anything of substantial height in the tub, but you've got that extra platform above to...
Yeah, you're gaining space, but you're losing some height of space.
Yeah, you limit what you can put in the tub, but you gain like a whole nother flat platform, and it's a second level, and it's undisturbed by the level above. And I thought, in my head, I was like, that could be the ultimate, not the ultimate, that could be close to the ultimate touring setup for me in my same car.
And you're comparing it to how you had your vehicle set up, and it sounds like a very similar concept that you were using, except for you didn't have the bit above it. Yes,
yeah. I had a roof rack on top of my canopy, so that you can, there's obviously that as well, which people, the full-time tourers, I think, tend to put a rooftop tent on.
Like a lower section.
Yeah, potentially. But it triggered my memory as well, because I saw something last week in Autobarn. It was a car. It was in the Balcatta Autobarn. That's a really good shop in there, and they had like a ute tub set up with the front runner rack like standing above the I don't know even what they call them, tub rack.
Oh, like tub rack, with like the angle bit, so you can put stuff on the the boxes on the.
Oh, there angles? Is that coming in. I haven't seen that yet, but it would. So this was even less than that, but it would just. I was like, that is. Yeah. So like, there was just so much stuff on it, and I was like, that would make sense if you were using this sort of as a more of a tourer. And then I took a photo of it because I was like, I need to get this now. Which I'll just pause.
So for like an ultimate tourer, if you're going down a dusty road with that, you would definitely need to carry some extra water or have planned out somewhere where you can constantly wash your hands and stuff. Or
that's the thing.
Because you're going to get covered in dust.
Yes.
And it's unavoidable, right?
So now all of a sudden it's not the ultimate four-wheel drive.
Well,
and you're deleting that photo.
Yeah. I'll try. I'll send it. Will I send it to you?
Yeah, you can airdrop it to me.
Yeah, I can airdrop it.
The thing is, you can get it pretty damn close.
Yeah.
But it comes down to what you're going to use it for. But I think the main reason why I'm actually excited about this topic is to talk about the things that people, they want this, they want that, but then they don't end up using them.
Yeah.
So let's say you didn't have an awning, and I don't have an awning on my 76. There was once or twice so far I really wish I had an awning. And those are the only two times I would have actually pulled the awning out. Now, having said that, on the Troopy, it's more of a necessity because it's more of a travel thing. And when I'm out there, that's the only shelter I'm going to have. It's not like I can go out and then just put up with the rain or whatever and then go home to my shelter. Mm. So if I'm traveling across the country, that's where an awning may become more like a necessity.
Yep.
But if you're traveling during summer or you're traveling up north and you're not there in wet season and you never would go there during wet season, then you don't really need an awning, especially if you're constantly driving. I mean, you might be parked up somewhere for a little bit, find a tree, I'm just saying, like, those are things that are worth definitely thinking about, because you have this thing hanging off the side of your car for a very long time that may not really get used.
Yep.
And that's just one thing. There's other things in the tub. Those areas you put stuff, it's too hard to get to because your lid only opens that far. It's too much of a pain in the ass. I don't want to set it. I don't want to use this. I carry a solar blanket. I don't want to use it because I have to get it out and then plug it in. And I never really hang around enough, all those little things. But when you see other people have them, or you see people on YouTube or videos, you're like, oh yeah, I want to get that. Yeah. I need it,
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's why I've stopped watching your videos, mate. No, I'm joking. Here it is. This is see this. So it's a nice high tub rack.
So it's a front runner box.
It's a bit of front runner kit, yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's
front runner rack on top of the tub.
And because it sat up quite high, there was still. So you got your.
You got drawers underneath.
The TV off the wall.
Jesus,
so you got the drawers underneath, which I could, I've got the boxes, which I really love.
Yep.
And I think you could use that space better, unless you've got maybe water and stuff down the side and
down the side of the tub. Okay.
Air compressor sort of, built in there. But
I reckon that rack could be lifted up a bit higher, like just a little bit higher, and then I think you get even more use out of it.
But it's also low to keep the jerry cans and the swag on top of it from being over the roof the height of the roof, right?
I would say, that might have something to do with it. Yeah. So there's a little bit of like, you know, stuff there covering I reckon there might be a fridge slide in behind there, and I just think that's a really neat setup if you're looking at touring in a dual cab ute.
It is a neat setup, but one thing I do want to point out is there's a lot of real estate that's wasted unless you are putting stuff in those wings on the side of drawers, because a tub itself is quite big. When you put a drawer system in it, these drawers are quite narrow. It's like almost 200 mil in from each side. So if the drawers were right out to where the tailgate kind of opens, you would get so much more out of it, and you wouldn't have all that real estate here to left and right.
That's why the drawers
taken up.
Yeah, but you could also utilize that space.
You
right?
could if you put batteries and things like that in it. But then you are still limiting yourself for what you can fit in the drawer as well.
This is also that is a roller, so that
the max tracks.
There's a lid, so that there will be some space there that is unusable when that's shut, because otherwise or you won't be able to close it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because otherwise this will get dusty.
Yeah, yes, everything under here. So that wouldn't be a fridge slide now, I think of it, even though it does look like one. But
it probably is. It's just to
show you what you can do, but it won't. It wouldn't fit. So I don't know where your fridge goes in this.
Right. So to explain for audio, for people who are listening, the podcast version, this is a ute, and on top of the ute, there's a little bracket that runs around it, and on top of that is a front runner roof rack. But there's a slide, so a cover, a hard top cover.
Yeah,
that
I think it might even be
like a roller.
I think,
like a roller.
Yeah,
it slides all the way back and encloses the ute, leaving the roof rack on top and everything inside, which is the drawers and stuff, closed.
Yeah.
Don't hate that.
Yeah, I like it.
I just where did you put your fridge?
Exactly.
Did you have to put it in the back? Then that limits you to a two-person.
Yeah.
There's no fridge allowed for here. You'd have to move one of these drawers out. And I can tell you right now, with the Hilux tub that I had in the N80, I had the fridge in the back. I couldn't fit a 40-litre, it was the Engel I had at that stage.
Yeah.
So I had to get a 30-litre to put in. And that was a significant step down when there was two of us travelling. So depending on the fridge, I mean, there are fridges that are 60 litres they could have fit, but yeah, it's just what can you get at the time and what, and then like a 60 litre is pretty long, and then what can you fit behind it? It changes your entire setup.
Yeah.
And I had a hard lid on mine, so you are limited to what you can fit. And if you're going to put something, you'd have to pull this whole side of the drawer out to even have a chance, Yeah.
So anyway, there you go. What I thought could be the ultimate setup has its flaws, and that's what you're going to find with anything, I think.
Yeah, it depends what it's used for. I mean, if you got the back seats empty and you got a fridge there, then
this would also be the perfect setup for someone.
Definitely.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, 100%. That's the thing.
Not for you. Not for you.
It's close.
And not for me.
It's close.
It's not far off.
Yeah, I like it.
I think this is more of a display anyway. I think they're just trying to show
what
everything.
You can do. Yeah. I like the look of it. I reckon it looks really neat. And then this was sort of the look that I saw today, fully kitted up.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they had on there, but
it's appealing. Like, it looks good. I think it's really cool.
And I'm always
you can put boxes on top.
Big fan of this because of the amount of attachments you've got for the front runner system.
There's a lot of ideas there, but this is what I would do. I would pull the drawer system out. Yeah, we can keep the roller shutter because I can keep the dust out. Then the tray that you used to have, I was about to say currently have, but the tray, you might have put it back in. That whole slide thing with all the boxes are super light.
Yep.
I would have that in the bottom. And then on top, the rack up a little bit further. And then you could fill that with more boxes if you wanted to. Put your swag there, whatever. If there's enough room, you could even make this platform go up higher even, put the swag in between the platform and the roller thing. Now you have 3-tier sort of level of where you can put stuff. And the swag is, it's kind of soft. Should be okay there. There's a lot more. You could use this in so many different ways, and that would suit so many more different people. It's just doing it the way you can use it. The thing is, if you got a ute and you don't have a canopy on it, you are going to get dust in one way or another.
Yep.
So you need a lot of containers that are sealed.
Yep.
and baby wipes are not bad because then you can wipe your hands after going through all that stuff because you're going to get covered in dust.
Yeah.
But it's not so bad. I'm used to that. I don't mind it. And you love it when it starts raining because it's, you know, you're like, oh, I'm not going to get dusty tonight.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot to tell you, blokes, a fella took my my canopy frame away.
Really?
Got rid of it, yeah.
Sold it?
Yeah.
Or you just stole it?
Nah, well, I
Gave it away?
I sold it, but I sort of gave it away in
Yeah.
the end, yeah. He had to make some adjustments to it, so I was like, yeah, just have a crack.
Right.
Don't want it to cost you any more than, you know.
So you're just done with it?
Yeah, I was just sitting around in my house. I was just like, look, I probably should put this back on, but I don't want, like, and then I just clear some space out and handed it over to a good home.
Was that on Gumtree?
It was.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what, with Gumtree, when you're asking for a little bit of money for something, you know, it's just for the effort of putting it up. Yeah, you'll kind of help them a little bit pulling stuff apart. But when you put stuff for free and they rock up and they're like, oh, I didn't bring this tool. It's like, tough shit, mate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving you this.
Yeah.
I should be charging you $50 to $100. I'm going back inside and playing video games with my kids.
Yeah. This guy was nice about it, at least. He was all
Good.
He was all good.
Good.
Fella.
I kind of feel like you're leaning towards a new car now, mate.
Oh, yeah, you know me. Do we cover this every week?
Well, I
People
think
must
we
be
do.
sick of me.
No.
Anyway, the setup you're never going to find, but
Well, what would the ultimate troopy setup look like for you? Like,
yours. Like similar to what you've got.
what would you change on it though?
Oh,
Like the whole.
I preferred Rafa's.
oh
Rafa's
yeah.
troopy
Like,
setup.
so I sort of mean that you know the
Configuration.
pop, the roof, somewhere to sit, and I just like I just love that whole. If you're going to get a troopy, that's like the ultimate thing to do with it, isn't it? Like make the roof conversion,
to
make
pop
it
the
livable.
roof and all that. Yeah.
I don't know what I would change to the setup. I probably haven't had a good enough look around yours. I think Rafa's was probably a little bit more accessible than yours from memory.
Maybe a bit more space down the corridor.
Down the corridor.
Yeah.
I think Rafa's was just a bit cleaner.
Can you remember
'Cause
that?
You had a fair few.
You had a lot of stuff in
going
there, actually,
from
'cause of the
four-wheel
shows.
drive
Going the
shows.
shows and stuff. Yeah.
Remember we woke up that morning and Rafa's just sitting on his laptop in his troopy.
Yeah.
Like, look, that looked comfy out. It was
It
just
did
like,
look
he looked like
very
he was in his
comfortable.
lounge room.
And then what did we do? We went out on the Salt Lake, filmed a podcast, and got eaten alive by like 4,000 flies.
Yeah, we've done it in there, but it's yeah. See, I just think that's the way to do your troopy if you're going to do it. That's why I'd be so hesitant to get one, because I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't think. Your troopy's 4 seats too, isn't it?
It is. So
Yeah.
it's 4 seats, but it all kind of fits in there, you know. Like
Yeah.
I even, you know, it was a time where I was actually toying with like lightening it up a bit because I felt like it was heavy and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? Because this thing is purposely built for what it's doing. And then I started toying with ideas of how to make it lighter so it's more bearable to drive around the city, right?
Yeah.
So when I have the ultimate full drive in mind, I have the everyday, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. But perhaps that's not the ultimate full drive for someone else. Because if they are lucky enough to have 2 cars, then one could be for that and the other could be for this, right? So that's kind of the case here. I now have a 76, and when I got that and I decided to keep it, I then scrapped my ideas of lightening up the troopy. I'm
gotcha.
going to keep the troopy how it is.
Yep.
I mean, it could probably lose a few pounds, but you know, that's all right. It's a big V8, so
Yeah.
it can just slug
Maybe a
away.
bit bigger. So that 4 seat, I suppose, would make it more appealing in the sense that you can fit the family in. I just, you know, the troopy for me is the perfect 2 people tourer. You've made it that way with the fan, which is awesome, I reckon. And if it still works, you throw a swag on top, and you know, there's 2 rooms effectively. But
Yeah, a troopy is definitely easier to make it for 2 people.
yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, you can have so much more stuff in there. It's in terms of having a caravan on 4 wheels that actually can go off road.
Yeah.
So in that sense, that is what that would suit. Having 4 seats, it's kind of made into a bit of a hybrid. So if I have it over in Cairns or Darwin and I can fly the family up, we can go check out this and that, and then maybe stay somewhere kind of central, because the amount of water that I carry is enough for 4 people, but not for a really long desert crossing or something, right? So it would be good for that. But then when they fly home and then I decide to maybe do the canning or something else, I have enough water and everything for myself and for a passenger.
Yeah.
So it kind of can do both things. And where those 2 seats are in the back, I can load it up with gear. So it doesn't mean that you can't be a 2-person setup troopy and not have the 2 seats in the back, because you got to put your stuff somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So if you use those seats to load your stuff up, well, you still have a 2-person tourer, but you can fly maybe a couple of mates up to wherever you're going and take them on a trip with you, you know?
Yeah.
So it just opens up more options.
Yeah.
So, and I guess opening up more options, if your vehicle is able to be adaptable and do other things, I think that's kind of more towards being the ultimate setup. Because if you have a fixed setup, if you have a wagon with fixed drawers, you're not changing it. You're leaving it. You're not pulling those drawers out. But if you have one that has boxes, you got boxes for work, you got boxes for camping, you got boxes for family, you could load them up in your garage.
Yeah.
You could drive in, you could change the whole car over, off you go again.
Yeah.
I think that's more of an ultimate setup, is because you can do more with it. The more adaptable it is, the more, the more it can do. So it's the same thing with like, if I compare the 76 to the 78, my 2 configurations I got set up, I think the 76 is more adaptable and capable than what the Troopy is.
Yeah, right.
Because the Troopy is so fixed, I'm not pulling that kitchen out anytime soon. I'm not pulling those 2 fridges out. That's the way it is.
Yep.
I can't just rip this out, put a dog in it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's specifically set up. That's the thing.
Yeah. What do you think, Jaden? Where are you? Like, is the 76 your right? Like, is that?
Is mine set up the way I want it?
Well, like,
probably not. No.
But is your 76 in the wagon like your ideal 2 setup? Like, is that where you want to be in? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the 76 is probably the car for me at the moment, at this time in my life, that I think is ideal for me. In the future, probably another wagon, but something a bit more modern would probably be ideal in terms of safety features and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You got a Prado?
I'd probably start looking at that.
Like
Yeah, well, come on, mate. I said last week if I had the money, I'd get it, but maybe things have changed. I would, there's a lot of things that would change in the 76, but just when you were talking there, Ronnie, I thought the Troopy, I feel like most people set it up to not be adaptable. They set the Troopy up to be fixed and permanent. Like you're not putting in a kitchen just because you feel like it. You're putting it in because you want it to stay there, right?
Yeah.
So
that's the intention at the time.
Yeah.
But then you
just don't have room to change your mind.
No.
But
you
just
not
have
easily.
And like the Troopy, like if I put a kitchen in the 76, I feel like I would run into a few problems there with space and different things like that, where like, maybe I want to put this in, but I don't have the room. Whereas like the Troopy, you have so much space in that car that it kind of gives you a bit more freedom to put more things in it.
Oh, definitely. To do that kind of thing, that is the best car to do it in.
Yeah.
But what I'm sort of more leaning towards is like a lot of people get caught up in doing those setups, but how many actually take them out there and live out of them for a long duration of time? Yeah. So it's more to do with that, because people just get lost in like, man, that is awesome. That setup is wicked. I see something, and they are wicked, but are you willing to spend all that money to make this vehicle and then not use it to justify it? And then when you got to use it for everyday life, so it's just, I don't know, it's just good to put that out there so people can go, oh yeah, maybe I don't need the drawers. I'll try with the boxes for now. Hate the boxes, okay? Then go to your drawer system.
I'd love to know if anyone out there has found their ultimate tourer for themselves, for what they're doing, their ultimate four-wheel drive, their ultimate kind of setup, if they've actually stopped and just gone,
I reckon we need like a prerequisite that you haven't changed it in over like 6 years.
6 years, well, that's a big one.
But that's like, it might be the ultimate tourer for the last 6 months for him.
You want anyone to call in or not?
Or like, they can just make it up and tell us, we'll believe it. But
maybe for a year.
Year's not much.
Year's not enough, is it?
You could be like 4 camping trips. You never know.
A lot of people.
Okay, so what's the?
Look, I just think if someone's built their ultimate setup, tell us about it, And then what will be really interesting is, if this podcast is still going in whatever many episodes later on in the years to come, be good to get back to them.
100%. And that
would actually be really good.
That's a great segue into what are we doing now with this new segment, the ultimate setup?
So I reckon.
Go, mate.
I reckon is the idea of people just send some stuff in and we can critique it?
Yeah. If you're ballsy enough to send in your ballsy is probably not the right word, but if you think
courageous
that you can,
enough.
if you're courageous enough to send in your car and you're not scared of us picking it apart or
constructive criticism,
criticizing it. Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea.
Yeah. I think we're pretty fair blokes, don't you think?
Oh, I'd like to. I wouldn't knock too many setups out there, I don't reckon. Especially because
you're a lover of all things.
I do, but when it's their pride and joy, I respect that if it's their pride and joy.
I don't think there's going to be like a car that gets sent in that we're going to be like, that's shocking, mate.
I reckon there could be because
there might be.
I reckon I'll maybe I'm putting saying to a mate, I'm going to put your car in.
Yeah. Maybe. I think it would just.
We promise to be honest.
If there's people out there that don't know what they're going to do with their car and want a bit of feedback or ideas, send it in. If you think you've got the perfect car, send it in. Yeah. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
And if you're in WA, maybe we can link up and have a look at it.
Take it for a spin. No. Hey, just going back to if you have a vehicle and you would like us to give you some ideas, we would need to know what you're going to use it for. So you can't just say, hey, this is my Ford Ranger. How would you set it up? What are you going to do with the vehicle?
Plus your budget.
Give us those ideas. Yeah, give us a budget because that'll really test us out here. And then I reckon we can give you guys some pretty good ideas and advice. From budget and knowing what you're going to use it for, it's always easier for someone else to subject their thoughts on what you should do, and then you can decide.
You can give the realistic, actual touring four-wheel drive, how adaptable, how realistic it is, and I'm just going to pretty much give it on looks, I reckon.
Yeah, I think
that's all I'm really qualified for.
Yep, and I'm going to be the tiebreaker.
It's a tiebreaker.
We could go on forever about the ultimate four-wheel drive setup. We've banged on about it in multiple episodes. Nice to touch back on it. Nice to see where we're all sitting with the ideas on our current setup and what we ideally think about. But I think we should probably park it there.
Yep.
And then for everyone listening or watching, start sending in your four-wheel drives, whether they're set up or they're not. Give us some background information on, if you want us some advice on what to do, where you're going, budget, or if you're just like, I've got my setup, have a look at this and show it off.
I'm really looking forward to some of these cars coming in.
Well, because we'll gain some ideas too. And like you say before,
100%.
It's like we're going to look at it and think, oh, I really want that.
Yep.
Just let it settle, boys.
Yep. I think. Yeah.
Where do they flick through to, mate?
Well, you can send. I'm thinking we might set up a little form on the website.
Ah, nice.
Fill out each box and then send in your emails. That way, every box gets ticked.
Cool.
Because I don't really want to go through all of our messages to find that someone's not sent in the right thing.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. Actually, I like it. Happy with that, boys?
Lucky. Yep, happy with that. Lucky you're not relying on me going through all those messages because I've got 30 text messages and
All right. Well, on that, on messages and stuff, you want to go to a fire pit?
Yeah, let's get the fire pit cranking. Being fresh too in Perth, people are going to say carry on Perth people, but
cold
you're both in t-shirts.
Yeah, because I got the beanie on. The beanie's good for? Keeps the headphone in.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It's good for the headphones.
It is good for
my head's hot, but
and about 10% of your body heat too.
Is it? Oh, there you go.
Wow. Okay.
Right, let's get into it.
Hey guys, just a question on white lights versus yellow lights in camping. Does it really make a difference to the bugs? Let me know.
I personally haven't seen much difference with the white and yellow lights.
So white and yellow, no difference.
Okay.
Red, warm, like really warm colors. Red.
Hot.
Difference. Yeah, there's a difference, but it's due to the UV wavelengths and not anything else. Not the color.
Works in well with the start of the episode.
Although the
doesn't
color changes the UV
It's
wavelength or the wavelength. So
it's actually a myth with the yellow lights, isn't it? I mean, if you look at all the street lights at night, like the old ones, there's bugs hanging around those as there are on other ones, you know.
yeah, so those would be the compact, the tungsten filament lights.
Yeah.
Right, that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those have a really high wattage, which is a really short wavelength.
Okay, so they're emitting
which
more
is a
radiation.
really high UV radiation, which bugs are attracted to.
Okay.
Because that's just the way their eyes work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thanks.
Interesting.
There you go. Don't have anything else on that, boys?
No, get some
Hey
red
guys,
lights.
love the pod. Always have it on the go when I'm driving around.
Red lights.
I'm just about to head off on a 3-month trip leaving from Perth around Australia. Was wondering if you have any suggestions on what can make it potentially easier to live out of a car longer term, whether that be either mods or just simple things to do. Cheers.
Ooh, okay.
I've got one that comes to mind quickly.
Yeah, go for it.
Not that I've ever done it, but just off some longer trips, the frequently used items make them easily accessible, and at the ends or the sides where your first access is.
I've got a Meatloaf song going on right now. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, really? Can you sing it?
No.
Okay.
Can you?
Maybe later.
Oh, you got it tuned up, don't you?
I'll surprise you.
We want our listeners to stay around.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Loved it. Loved Duggo's
No, I'll
country
talk
rendition.
about my singing.
You're singing.
I'm banned from singing at home.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Not allowed.
That's no good.
Not allowed to whistle either.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
really?
probably done a similar path. to be
They're the only
honest.
two things I'm not allowed to do.
That's pretty good, if that's all it is.
Yeah. Any other tips? This is 3 months.
Yeah.
3 month trip around Australia.
3-month trip around Australia. Look, reflecting on what Duggo just said, I would also make it so just don't bring everything, because if you got to go through stuff to get the stuff, which is kind of along the lines of what you were saying, it's going to make things so much easier. The less you have, the less stuffing around you're going to be doing. But I'm assuming he's traveling around with someone, right? You wouldn't go 3 months by yourself, or you might, but
Let's just assume he's traveling with someone.
yeah. I would bring some. I'll bring some cards. I'll bring that too, because you never know. You might get stuck and it's raining. Bring some cards. Bring like a tiny little board game or something. I'm not a big board game fan, but when it's, it's something to do.
Yeah.
Play a little Battleship while you're inside the car and the windows are fogged up.
Oh, well, we played Guess the Song with Rafa.
Around the campfire?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did actually.
Oh, yeah.
Had some songs.
I guess it's a movie, wasn't it? Yeah,
Guess the movie the song's from.
Yeah.
On
Another-
Spotify, there's a few little playlists and stuff.
He did mention mods as well. So, first thing that comes to mind for me is
3 months, awning.
awning. Yeah, and I thought about comfort on the road. Like, I'm assuming if he's going around Australia, he's doing the full lap by the sounds.
Yeah.
And if he's doing it in 3 months, he's going to be he's going to be sort of frequently on the move.
Yes.
So somehow, a bit of, comfort, whether that's actually the, underneath the suspension, and if you want to go all out on that, or if it's more, you could go as simple as getting a nice padded seat cover. I don't know what you're driving, but you know what I mean? Yeah, Like, just something to make your drive more comfortable, because that's going to be that's your desk chair for the next.
And your home
3
pillow.
months.
And if you use 2 pillows,
Still need tips on where to store the pillow and how to store the pillows.
you get one of those nets that you can go from the 2 grab handles in the back, and then you put it there.
That's a good tip for.
I was going to say
That's a
the
good
exact
tip.
same thing.
Yeah.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Make me hungry, all this meatloaf.
What's another thing? And then pack clothes for every single season. Even though it might supposed to be warm while you're going somewhere. 3 months, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But you can always buy things that you don't
can.
have.
Yeah.
You can't really buy. You're not really going to buy suspension and upgrade your car. Like do all that kind of stuff, modifications to your car before you go, and then anything that you kind of forget afterwards, shovel, toilet paper, seat cover, you can buy that later.
Yeah.
Would you recommend a long range fuel tank?
Just going back to the shovel, because I like my high quality shovel.
You do love a high quality shovel.
Not
You can
here-
buy a high quality
not
shovel on the
here
road,
again, are
mate.
we?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Not
Oh,
the
yeah,
shovel.
'cause-
The shovel chat always ends badly.
Yeah. Didn't you want to dig with your hands at one point?
Dig with my hands?
Yeah, we did the top 5 most essential camping items, and I think one of you didn't include a shovel.
We still have to do that camping trip.
Oh, no.
It's coming.
That was Douglas saying dig with hands, because I said shovel toilet paper straight up.
Yeah, okay, it was you. You're digging with your hands.
No, if a shovel and toilet paper are 2 of my 5 items, there's no way I'd dig with my hands.
You dig with your hands.
100%.
No way.
There's some places you can't dig.
I have like
You're just going to do an
essential
aquadump.
the staple items in your car though didn't count as items, did they? I
Did you not have
got
a
a little knife. I'll just like scratch away for a while. I'll find a way.
All right, well, Aiden, mate, just bring a shovel.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Duggo.
After all this, just bring a shovel. mate.
Yeah, that's all you need, mate.
How you going, lads? It's your Pilbara correspondent here, John, from the small town of Wickham near Roebourne. I love my 150 Prado, but the towing capacity just isn't pulling its weight. So when I heard the new 250 Prado would have a 3.5 tonne towing capacity, I was stoked. My question is, in light of how well the 4-cylinder 76 tows with the same engine and auto, do you think we could actually see a Prado become a serious towing contender? Also, Duggo, I've just traded you onto my fantasy football team, so keep up the good work, mate. I need all the points I can get so I can beat my mate Jar Jar. He just keeps winning and the boys are over it. Anyway, cheers, lads. Love the podcast.
Nice.
Jar Jar, his last name wouldn't be Binks, would it?
That's good. I like it. I'll do my best. Played in the midfield last week. Bit out of sorts in the midfield.
Didn't know what you were doing, did you?
That was good fun. I actually enjoyed it. It's good.
You going back there again, are you?
Not sure this week. I'm not sure. Coach hasn't told me. We'll see though. But I'll do my best either way.
But you're
For John.
You're a dour backman, mate, aren't you?
Dower. Thanks. No, I like that. I like Ben. I like
Yeah,
that.
you did like that.
Yeah.
So when do you find out?
Normally I'd just backline every week, but
Yeah.
there's been a couple of changes, in the team. So this week I had to play in the midfield. So,
a lot more running.
yeah. I did run a little bit more. Played a lot of time on ground this week. Ran just over 15k.
And sorry, I'm just going to check this. But how many spoils did you get, mate?
I played in the midfield. I'm not meant to have any.
Oh, no.
I had 0. I had 4.
You're
four
a
a couple
dour
of weeks
backman
ago.
at heart, mate.
I had 4 a couple of weeks ago. Dan would be happy with that. I got sprayed because I'm a defender and I never spoil the ball.
He looks at your stats every week,
See how
every
many
single week to
spoils I
see
got.
how many spoils you've
Oh.
got.
Spoils don't get fantasy points for John. Well, they probably do, but
Well, we're not trying
All
to
right.
get fantasy points for John.
yeah. What was his question?
Prado. Prado towing capacity. I'd actually forgotten what it was, so I was kind of
Quickly
like
jump back
letting you
into it.
guys
Yeah,
go
no, that's a
there.
good
I was
one,
like,
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Okay, with the Prado, we could see a towing comparison thing going off here. Who knows what will be better, because this is a new gearbox. It's an 8-speed gearbox. I don't think they would have tuned the vehicle to tow, though. That's the only thing. So unless they have this haul mode button like the 76 does, I don't know. I would kind of be skeptical that the Prado, the new one, would tow better than the current 70 series. Because the current 70 series with the not the V8, the automatic, that tow haul mode is just, they've done something with the whole configuration of the tuning in that vehicle that just makes it just tow really good and cool the engine temps, cool the gearbox temps. It just does 20 to 40 degrees better than the current Prado does, or the current Hilux even. So be interesting to see. I think the new Prado is yes, that they've allowed it to tow 3.5 tons, so probably obviously would tow better, you would assume so, than a 150. But all in all, it's designed for the city and the country roads.
You know what? I can't picture the new 250 Prado actually being in the Pilbara. And you just can't picture that because it looks quite futuristic, I reckon. And,
It does.
quite high tech. And I'm not saying anything. The Pilbara is probably the most high tech place in Australia with what they've got going on in the mines and stuff like that. But I just don't picture that car being in the Pilbara. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, off topic of towing, but
Being a Pilbara man yourself?
Yeah, it is hard to
it
see.
just sort of doesn't like quite fit. But it will. I'm sure it will with time, and as we get used to the 250 Prado. But right now, I just can't say. For me, it just looks
too
like
clean.
the cittiest car.
Yeah, it really does.
Anyway, I'm sure it's nice.
The first advert that comes out is in the Pilbara.
Yeah, well, it's obviously
They're gonna be
it's
really
capable
marketing
enough.
that now,
It's
aren't they?
capable enough.
You just
obviously.
need to see it in the dirt. But
Yeah.
if I was going to buy a car right now just for towing, it will probably be a dual cab 2.8 auto to tow.
Yeah, righto.
That's what I would go for.
Is this
right
disregarding the American trucks or?
No, so
this is
that's
including the
up
American
to
trucks?
that's up to a capacity.
Okay.
If I was going to, I know they can tow 3.5 ton, but they shouldn't. So that's where you need like an American truck. If you want to tow more than 3.5 ton,
Yeah.
it's just safer.
Up to 3.5 ton, you go on the 79
Yeah.
2.8.
Up to 3 ton,
3 ton. Okay.
even though it can tow 3.5.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
BackChat boys, what up? This is Rick from Left Coast Overland. Wanted to call in on your line here and say hello. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate all the hard work you guys have put in. Very proud of your 52nd episode coming up. I've been with you from the beginning. Ronnie, I've been watching your content for years and years and years, mate, and you've been a huge inspiration of mine. And I am now an Australian citizen in my Grenadier, and I just got off of Morrison Island. I've had it for less than a week, and I've been really enjoying the truck, and so happy with what all you guys are putting together. It's so cool. So keep up the good work. Duggo, your rugged good looks. Got Jaden over there with the shout outs, my man. Love you guys. Hopefully we get to chat with you some other time. Adios.
That was the coolest message we've ever
Yeah,
received.
Rick
Like,
sounds,
just
Rick sounds
cool.
real cool.
Yeah.
Fuck.
American accent, Australian citizen,
Grenadier.
throws in an adios at the end.
Oh, the adios. The adios sealed it.
The farewell.
That's fucking cool.
That's-
That was a cool message.
Rick sounds cool.
Congrats on a Grenadier.
I saw a Grenadier outside here last night, parked up.
Was it Ronnie's?
No, it was blue, unmodded. Took a photo of it.
Hey, cool that Rick's taken the Grenadier straight out of Morton after having it for only a week.
Yeah, Morrison
Yeah.
That's
Island.
late.
That's cool.
Right into it. That's it. That's just a nice message to finish with, isn't it?
What a great...
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It just tells you how ready a Grenadier is to just go full driving.
Yeah.
Like
And-
you just throw your stuff
Oh,
and
yeah,
go.
took it. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Was it modded
Oh,
up
someone
or
from outside.
Yeah, this one from outside.
Ah,
I'm going to have to put this up on YouTube.
the
Yeah.
Grinios.
Yeah. It's cool.
Been with us for 50. Was since the start as well. So
Left Coast Overland.
yeah.
Yeah.
Been with us from the start, which
yeah.
is cool.
Yes, it's sick.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, it's great.
First time caller, long time listener.
Yeah, that's
Cool,
Good.
yeah.
Good by you.
Call in some more. It was cool.
That's true. That's a Triple M thing, isn't it?
I think it's I don't know.
Is that, who does it?
Maybe-
I know they throw it out there.
Maybe it's
sometimes.
right back from the day, mate. Long time listener, first time caller.
Sorry.
Sorry, you reckon?
What am I doing?
Play the tune, quick. All right.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
Alrighty. I think we're done here. Ronnie needs to go.
Yep.
All right. Well, that wasn't the ultimate four-wheel drive setup because you're never going to find it, and we can talk about it as long as we want, as much as we want, and we ain't going to be able to come up with an answer for you.
The main takeaways, Duggo?
The main takeaways for me would be
Let's see.
I actually like Ronnie's point of keeping it adaptable because you often change your mind over and over. And I've done it, and I've seen a lot of people do it. So I think keeping it adaptable, keeping it sort of even modular, if you will.
Modular.
In a roundabout, but that sort of design, I think that's adaptable. Adaptable would be my word of the day.
Awesome. The message is out there then.
Yeah. Well done, Guru. Who
Oh,
got through?
thank you.
Expert.
The Guru, expert.
Oh, jeez.
Mr. Dahl.
he needs to go.
All right, cool. That's good. Thanks, boys.
All right, no worries. Oh, I've got to do an outro. That was the Four Wheel Drive podcast driven by Shelter. Southern River Van, let it ride. We'll see us out the Four Wheel Drive podcast on Instagram. All the episodes over on BackChat's YouTube. And again, thank you to our patrons. And thanks to Rick, the coolest man alive.
Jolly good. Farewell.